insecurities, though, I don't think most fans think about professional athletes as having insecurities. I think slumps might be a word. Like, oh yeah, if you were having, if you were 0 for 14, right? Or something like that. If there had been an injury, if you had a bad game. I don't know that fans recognize insecurities as much as not performing at a certain level.
So it's funny, I've been having this conversation a lot in the new team, just based off of what I've been learning over the last few years from players I respect. And I feel like I've come down to the fact that I consider sports now like an artist considers art and a musician considers music. It's an expression of yourself, right? Like when you're out there, it's an expression of yourself. So when things go wrong, the things that are kind of like, you're kind of like insecure about, boom, they show up. And then when things are going really good, like that's the best version of yourself. And so I believe that is how we are as athletes, whether we know it or not. But I'm always trying to combat the bad side of me of that so that I'm kind of a step ahead of it, hopefully. I'm nowhere near perfect with it, trust me. But the understanding of it kind of gives you, that daily awareness that you need.
So now we're going to go really deep because he's had a little
food
bit of wine.
and wine, I'm telling you.
Food and wine, and that's what we do. Where do most of your insecurities lie as an athlete?
Failure. You just don't want to fail in front of that many people. You don't want to let people down, and that's what it feels like.
But that's the difference. Is it the fear of letting people down, or the fear of seeing, or the fear of people not seeing you succeed?
Could be either or. Could be either or for sure. I've felt both for sure. Definitely. You don't want to look like for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
It just stinks sometimes. For sure. You're embarrassed. Everybody goes through it. We're all competitive. We all want to be the best, whether we're in the big leagues or not. Like, we want to be the best player on the field, and you got to believe that in yourself.
And for as hard as you try to combat it, sometimes it leads to overthinking when you're a competitor.
Especially when you're younger and just getting into baseball.
Yeah.
It's really tough. It really is. That's the hardest part of the game. Physically, everybody from AA on could play in the major leagues, but it's 100% the mental side that just holds people back.
Deep thoughts with Tom Murphy.
The food, the harissa.
The food will get you. Most memorable interaction you have ever had with a teammate? I was going to say like during a game, just to narrow it down a little bit.
I guess you kind of think of always like the best game you've been a part of, right? That's probably the most memorable. I've been on a lot of teams that should not have made it to the playoffs that went to the playoffs. I've never been on any of those active rosters though. So for me, it's a little bit different feeling, right? Like you want to be out there, and I don't think you really consider yourself a part of it unless you're out there. So like Mariners, that have been amazing, like 100%. Being able to see my teammates do it that year was incredible for sure. Like those guys earned it. It was incredible. It was really, really cool. But I always go back to a game that I caught for John Gray back when I was a Rocky. He had a 16 strikeout game, Coors Field. I had 2 homers that game. Like just the amount of feelings and like I was so excited for John because that was something at that time in his career. He's kind of unproven rookie, just kind of learning the ropes, and he goes out and he shows that he's a dominant pitcher, and he did it at Coors Field, and he set the strikeout record that night for a single game. Just really, really cool to be a part of that for him because he earned it. I mean, it was incredible. It really was.
You mentioned the help that some of your coaches have given you, but what is the piece of advice that a coach has given you that still rings true?
Do less. 100%. Do less. And it's not necessarily workload less, it's like effort less. Like the best version of yourself out there is usually like kind of geared back. So you kind of live in that happy zone of like, I'm calm, but I'm also ready to pounce at any moment. So it's not 100% all the time where you're just like tense, it's like you got to find that happy medium. And for me, that'll always reign true because I want, again, to kind of range toward that high energy extreme. So again, knowing yourself, it really goes a long ways, and it takes a long time. It really takes a long time.
I don't know that I can take a slow drive. I like fast cars.
Once you get into the backwoods zone and you slow down, you realize the niceness of a nice slow drive. You got to slow down.
Why wouldn't I just walk?
You could do that, for sure.
Now see, I like a walk in the woods.
I understand that completely. I love a walk in the woods.
You like to walk barefoot in the woods, though.
Yeah, that's nice too.
That does not seem nice. It seems like my feet are going to be full of prickers.
They have
or
great
stickers.
boots that feel like they're barefoot too.
What?
Yeah, they have what they call quote unquote barefoot boots. They're like a really flat bottom, no arch, no nothing, wide toe box. I use those a lot. Those are great.
Really?
Yeah. You literally feel like you're walking, but you're protected. It's pretty nice. New stuff.
There you go.
I Cook, You Measure is presented by Safeway, who encourages you to step up for our high school student athletes through the Nourishing Champions program. The collaboration with Champions of Change provides funding for nutritious snacks and meals for all high school sports teams in need. Use the QR code to donate to Nourishing Champions and fuel success on and off the field.